Hello, in this C programming video, I am going to cover static variables. So a static variable is a variable that only gets, initialized and set up once, and its data persists all throughout the, life of your application, essentially, unless it's, overridden or changed or anything like that. So let me give you an example. Let's say if I create a function called void, and I say print, and in here, let's say if I create an integer called int I equals 0, and I print this out. Cout std and line. Oh, not. I'm doing C++ here. Then printf, and it'll be %i, and I put \n, comma I. And what I'm going to do is just increase I by 1. So I plus plus. And now I'm going to run a print. I'm going to run print. And I'll run it a few times. I'll run it 5 times. There we go. And if we run that, what do you think we'll get? What, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4? Have a look. No, we just get all zeros. And the reason is, every time this function is called, it creates this variable I. So it prints off 0. Then I becomes 1 here. But as soon as it hits this, any sort of variables that were, set up and memory was allocated for it, they get wiped. Whereas if now we put the word static here, and this can be done with any data type, and we run that now, the actual data persists. So what happens? The first time print is called, it gets to here, it checks if, I has been created before. If not, it creates, it sets that up and assigns the value 0. And then it prints it off, and that is 0. And now I is 1. Okay, that ends. Then the second call happens, it gets here, checks, has I been created? It has been created before. Therefore, it doesn't actually assign the value to 0. It doesn't do any setup. It ignores, essentially doesn't do any of this. Prints out I, which was 1 from the previous, increment, from the previous call. And I is now 2. It just keeps going through that process. So that's static variables. And, it's something that you probably shouldn't use all the time. But sometimes you'll want sort of like where you definitely only want one instance of it. Maybe you've got some sort of debug system in your game or your application, and you ever only want one instance. Using statics can really help, and it allows you to use it in other places as well. So that's it. That's static variables. You can extend it to any data type, even custom data types. If you have any questions, feel free to join the Discord group. There's a link in the description. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next programming video.